what's up? What's good on the internet? What's good in life? Akeem Balaam, aka LI495. So Mike Krzyzewski, the coach of USA Basketball, has indeed named his 12-man roster that shall be taking part in the Olympics, playing for USA Basketball at this upcoming Olympics in London. The 12-man roster happens to include these names. It features LeBron James, it features Carmelo Anthony, it features Kobe Bryant, it features Deron Williams, and Chris Paul will also be on that roster. He made it as well. Those are the names that are leftovers from when the Redeem team in Beijing won gold once again for the U.S. after that bronze medal showing in Athens. That's how they got the name, the Redeem team, because they won bronze in Athens, and everybody was thinking, hey, wait a second, anything less than gold for the U.S. is a pap. So that's how they got that name. So Kobe Bryant, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Deron Williams, and Chris Paul, those are the ones that made it from the Beijing Olympics. And of course there are also newcomers. Of course you got Kevin Durant on the team, which was a slam dunk since of course he was named the MVP of the 2010 FIBA Worlds. You have Russell Westbrook, and you also have James Harden. Now hopefully, for the sake of USA Basketball, the James Harden that they will be seeing in Olympics play will be the James Harden that dominated the San Antonio Spurs, and not necessarily the James Harden that did perhaps the biggest disappearing act since Houdini in the NBA Finals versus the Miami Heat. Hopefully we get the James Harden that we saw against the Spurs for USA Basketball. Also, Tyson Chandler made the roster, Blake Griffin made the roster, Andre Iguodala made the roster, and Kevin Love made the roster. So there are your 12 participants. There are your 12-man roster for USA Basketball for the Olympics. Now, the thing about it is that a lot of people have been, of course, focusing on the injuries, and you have to focus on the injuries. Dwight Howard, Derrick Rose, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, even with Anthony Davis, he was rumored to be possibly a backup center on the roster or something like that, but I didn't agree with that anyway. Throwing Anthony Davis right there onto the Olympic team, right there on the world stage, when he hasn't even played one single NBA game, probably would have been maybe a little bit too much maybe for Anthony Davis. You go straight from college to the Olympics, even though that's how they used to do it in the old days. But Anthony Davis was also injured along with Dwight Howard, who of course has his own issues that he has to sort out domestic-wise with the Orlando Magic and with a lot of other teams that are looking for his services for next year, 2012-2013. Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose also will not be on the team due to injuries, and Bosh and Wade actually played through their injuries this past NBA playoffs, but it will not be enough for them, unfortunately, to make it to London, to make it to the Olympics. And everybody's talking about how the USA team is thin, particularly inside, of course, because, if you didn't have all these injuries, as I don't know why mosquitoes are seeing me right now as dinner. I mean, it's only morning. They're probably seeing me as breakfast. Sorry. But anyway, everybody is seeing this USA team as thin inside. It's not necessarily the 2008 team, which of course had Dwight Howard. Of course, he's injured. But you know what? We still got Kobe Bryant. We still got LeBron James. We still got Kevin Durant. So even if we are thin inside, we're still pretty good shooting 15-foot jump shots, and we're still good, I believe, shooting three-pointers. So the basis of the USA team this year is going to be different from past years, is that it's not necessarily going to be an interior-dominated game. You know, it may be that way on the defensive side, considering that they got Tyson Chandler on the team, and he was also on that 2010 FIBA Worlds team. But I think that the whole thing to the United States and the whole thing to them winning gold is not necessarily going to be interior play. It's going to be how they use that exterior play with 15-foot jump shots, how they move the ball around, how they play defense, and maybe they'll be able to set up Tyson Chandler for one of those easy dunks, or maybe even Blake Griffin for one of those monster jams that he's able to put down, similar to a la the way he does it for the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, his Lob City teammate Chris Paul also made the team, so that should be also interesting to watch coming up at the London Olympics. So when you think about it, the whole blueprint for the Olympic team is really the way they play in the All-Star game. You notice the way that they play in the All-Star game and the way that they play in Olympic tournaments and FIBA Worlds and things like that? It's almost similar. So really the blueprint for the way that the U.S. team plays in the Olympics really is the way that they play in the All-Star game. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot more emphasis on defense in the Olympics tournament, but really they score so much against a lot of these other teams that really defense isn't even all that much of an issue. And with some of the guys that they have on that team, it shouldn't be that much of a problem on defense anyway. But I just want to get that out there, that really the blueprint for the Olympic team really is the All-Star game. If you notice the way that they play in Olympic tournaments and the way they play in the All-Star game, it's almost tit for tat exact. So once again, there's your Team USA roster. Once again, the 12-man roster is as follows: Kobe Bryant, Deron Williams, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Tyson, Chandler, Blake Griffin, Andre Iguodala, and Kevin Love. They shall be participating in London. So what do you think about this roster? Do you think that this is a gold medal roster once again, a la the 2008 roster? Some people are even saying that it could be even better than that 2008 team. I'm not necessarily sure about that. We're going to have to see what happens in the Olympic tournament, but we'll see eventually. So rate, comment, react, reply, add, and subscribe. Look forward to reading your comments. As always, I am just one guy talking about nothing. What do you think about this roster? And also, who do you think is the biggest threat? Most likely it's going to be Spain, since they do have Juan Carlos Navarro. They do have both of the Gasol brothers, Pau and Mark, and they also have Serge Ibaka inside. But it looks like that once again, if possible, that everybody should be prognosticating most likely that the 2012 Olympic Finals for the gold medal game will likely come down once again to Spain and the U.S. as it did in Beijing 4 years ago. So once again, rate, comment, react, reply, add, subscribe. Look forward to reading your comments as always and talking with you on the Real Sports Talk. LI495. See you on the internet someplace.